For the fifth straight time, rivals Salle and Ateneo would face each other for the UAAP Women's Volleyball Championship. Both finalists came into the season with more modest targets compared to seasons past. The defending champions lost 5 players: Mika Reyes, Ara Galang, Sid Demecillo, Mika Esperanza, and Carol Cerveza, while Ateneo said goodbye to 2 key cogs in Eliza Valdez and Amy Ahumiro. TLSU finished the elimination round at 11-3, with 2 of their total losses courtesy of twin 4-set losses from the Lady Eagles. Ateneo, meanwhile, topped the standings by finishing with a 12-2 card. Just as much as Ateneo proved all the doubters and early predictions of a subpar Season 79 wrong, the finals is also the opportune time for the defending champion Lady Spikers to validate their status as the queens of collegiate volleyball. Despite going 0-2 in the elimination round against head coach Ty Bundit and company, the playoffs, especially the finals, is a different kind of ballgame and present LaSalle the greatest chance at redemption. There's also no better way for team captain Kim Fajardo, the league's best setter, to cap off her collegiate career with another championship. The engine that keeps the LSU machine humming and the brains that keep the opponents guessing will aim to capture her 3rd UAAP Women's Volleyball title, as well as try to add what is already an impressive LaSallian legacy.
With pride, the Women's Volleyball Tournament's grand finale. This is game number 1 of the best-of-3 series in your Season 79 UAAP, the Dream Finals. Officiating this championship game, our first referee, Yul Benosa, international referee. Our second referee, James Oliver Mora, national referee. This is the 6th year in a row they are meeting in the finals. Let us now meet both teams, beginning with the Ateneo de Manila Lady Eagles. Number 9, Ana Gopico. Number 10, Kat Tolentino. Number 3, Michelle Morente. Number 14, Bea De Leon. Number 15, Joanna Maraginot. Team captain number 12, Gia Morado. Their starting libero number 7, Giselle Tan. And the head coach of the Lady Eagles, Anuson Ty Bundit. And now, starting for the reigning and defending champions, De La Salle Lady Spikers. Number 13, Aduke Ogansanya. Number 15, Ten Tiamzon. Number 2, Desiree Cheng. Number 10, Majoy Paron. Number 11, Kim Kiana Tui. Team captain number 9, Kim Fajardo. Their libero number 5, Don Macantili. And the head coach of the Lady Spikers, Romel De Jesus. It's game 1, the finals.
Well, like you heard from Roddy Manlapas, this is the Dream Finals, and no surprises for both coaches. They've got their strongest lineup to kick things off in game number 1. Coach Ronnie, offense for Ateneo, defense for LaSalle. That will be the premium today. Let's remember game number 1 last year. Ateneo was the number 1 seed, 12-2 win-loss record. LaSalle number 2 seeds, 11-3 win-loss record, but LaSalle winning game number 1 of the finals.
That's correct. It took 3 matches last year for the title to be settled, and eventually LaSalle was able to beat Ateneo in 3 games en route to winning their 9th crown in team history. Ateneo has tasted 2 titles since entering the UAAP in 1978. At yung pagpasok nila sa finals noong season 74, unang pasok nila yun sa finals sa kasaysayan ng pagsali ng Ateneo sa UAAP. But the last 5 years or the last 6 years has been a special moment dito para sa team ng Ateneo and of course para sa LaSalle 9th straight finals appearances.
Quick point for Baron as she puts away the over-receive. And going back to your point, Coach Ronnie, for Ateneo, 9 Final Four appearances since the Final Four era in season 56. But for LaSalle, 18 Final Fours since 1993. And 9 championships all in all in 23 seasons. And if you're thinking, kalahati lang naman yun. No, that's 9 championships for LaSalle, 7 for FEU, 5 for USD, and only 2 for Ateneo. So in 23 years, LaSalle has dominated the UAAP scene.
That's correct. And you can also throw into that the Coach Ramil De Jesus factor. And that is the reason why Ateneo brought in Coach Tai Buntit. In terms of coaches, in terms of knowledge, in terms of teaching the game. And Coach Tai Buntit has been able to develop himself into a difference maker for Ateneo in the last few years.
And for more about Ateneo, we can go now to Denise Dinsay.
Eric and Coach Ronnie, I've got 3 words for you. Happy, unity, heartstrong. Now the fans and our viewers are no stranger to these 3 words, but today they will be more than just the battle cry of the Ateneo Lady Eagles, but their mindset as well coming into today's game. Throughout the whole season, the girls played happy because they played for each other and love of the sport. Eric and Coach Ronnie, that 1-week break was very much needed by the Lady Eagles because they needed time to heal physically and prepare mentally so they can give a 1-big-5 this afternoon. Back to you, gentlemen.
All right, thank you. According to the players, they really, even for LaSalle, that the ASEAN and then the Labor Day weekend, Coach Ronnie, was a big reprieve for them because it allowed them to heal injuries, minor injuries, and rest better practice.
Even for the coaches, ample time to prepare. And that's why we expect a lot of fireworks during this first game. Given that yung mga may iniinda ay nakabangon na at may chance na makarecover.
But it seems like both teams are not shaking off any rust. Both offenses moving extremely well. They're all fluid and the fans are loving it. 3-2 lead by DLSU.
All the 3 points of LaSalle have come from Majoy Baron. And right now, she has outscored the entire team of Ateneo. Good and fiery start for De La Salle. Ateneo looking to hold on, looking to fight back, looking to take the lead away from LaSalle.
Well, an ace right there for Kim Fajardo. And that is a PLDT Ultra Fun serve. Playing in her final season. Obviously, she wants to go out with a bang. Let's go to Bea Escudero.
Eric and Coach Ronnie finding themselves in a very familiar setup. The Lady Spikers are entering their 9th finals appearance with a different kind of attitude and a whole lot of motivation. Now as these girls go head-to-head against the Ateneo Lady Eagles, the Lady Spikers mentioned that now is the time to show their full potential as a team, but more importantly, to play for each other. But you know, Eric and Coach Ronnie, this afternoon is not just a normal game for the Lady Spikers because it is also the countdown to the last few games of their team captain, Kim Fajardo, here in the UAAP. And speaking of Kim, she expressed that she is only focusing on keeping her team strong mentally all throughout and giving proper direction on the court. So this afternoon, Eric and Coach Ronnie, we can expect the Lady Spikers to play with all heart and dedicate the sets in the last few games to the team captain herself, Kim Fajardo. More on the Lady Spikers later on. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Bea. In the beginning, actually, Kim Fajardo, she was saying that she wanted to come back. She wasn't sure of coming back for her 5th and final season, but she came back for the players, and now the other players are returning the favor and trying to make sure that they finish on top. But a bunch of errors here, also helped by Gupiko and her serve and her excellent block on D earlier at Ateneo. Find themselves on top, 3 straight points, Coach Ronnie, 5-4.
LaSalle looking to be more stable with her reception, being the best receiving team. As Kat Tolentino and Bea De Leon has fortified the front line here for Ateneo.
Oh, what a tremendous defensive stand at the net, but finally D on her 3rd attempt punches through De Leon and Tolentino's blocking.
LaSalle's leading scorer, former MVP in high school, last year's finals MVP, 30 points in 2 matches versus Ateneo. Leading scorer for LaSalle this year against Ateneo rather, 15 points a game para dito kay Game D.
Service long for last year's best blocker. And going to that, to those stats from last season, Coach Ronnie, it would be difficult for LaSalle, despite being the number 2 seed, for them to lose last year against Ateneo, having the finals MVP, having the best setter, having the best blocker, best digger, best receiver. I mean, they had it all, even though they were number 2 seeds. But they, again, they overturned it in the finals and won the championship.
It was a different lineup, remember, for LaSalle last year. They had Mika Reyes, they had Cindy Basilio, and of course they had former UAAP MVP Aragala. But this year, nag-graduate na yung mga yon. But for Ateneo, they've also turned another page. Wala na rin si Eliza Valdez, Amy Ahumiro. Kaya lang, in terms of depth, I believe Ateneo has the edge. But in terms of winning experience, LaSalle may probably have a slight cushion on that. Pero hit for that, very close game. Morente, only player averaging a triple-double performance versus LaSalle. At nagawa niya yan in 2 straight matches laban dito sa LaSalle. Close to 20 points per game para kay Mitch Morente versus the Lady Archers.
There's the oldest rookie in the lineup of Ateneo. That's Kat Tolentino, just playing her first season for the Lady Eagles. Here's D attacking. Tolentino picking it up. Maraginot, she seems fully recovered from that right knee injury that forced her out for 2 games in the tail end of the elimination round. Ateneo takes us to our first technical timeout, leading by 2, 8-6 versus LaSalle, set number 1. Former Lady Spiker Chuck Cruz and East Volleyball Republic founders and former Lady Eagles, Bayatano on your left, Chalo Soliano on the right of your screens, enjoying the action, obviously cheering for the respective teams. Now, Coach Ronnie, you mentioned the different look of LaSalle coming into this finals without their key players, also for Ateneo without Valdez, and they are obviously trying to prove that there is life, there is future, there is success without Eliza Valdez for Ateneo.
Well, Ateneo has fully transitioned quickly after Eliza has left the nest.
There's a McCree's instant replay, and according to GM Morado, they were written off for season 79 because nawala nga si Eliza Valdez, but they're trying to prove that there are no easy pushovers despite that.
Well, I think that they turned the page after figuring in the finals of the Collegiate Conference of the V-League last year. Doon pa lang alam mo, kargado na eh. They have Mitch Morente, they come back in Ana Gupica, and of course, Kat Tolentino in the fold. And then there's Jules Samonte likewise. And anytime you have Gio Morado as a top playmaker, chances are, isipa talaga yung offensive niya.
One-handed pickup by Morente is no good from D as they erase that 2-point deficit. We're tied at 8 in set number 1.
We talked about the fact that players and coaches have ample time to prepare. Alam nila kung saan ang kahinaan ng depensa ng kalaban. Alam nila kung ano ang pwede nilang lakas na pwedeng gamitin sa kanilang makakaharapin right now. Both teams executing so well against each other.
The serve is wide.
Second one for LaSalle here in the first set. Earlier, it was Majoy Baron, and now it's Kim D with another service error. Remember, we mentioned earlier at the top of the coverage, 67 errors combined in the first 2 matches for LaSalle versus Ateneo, and that cost them dearly versus the Blue Eagles.
Fajardo to Ogunsanya with the tip. Well, nice dig by Morente. Macandili kept that one alive. Free ball for Ateneo. Morado. Fajardo picked it up. Back row attack. Tiamzon, and again they get it through as Morente came up short on the return.
First 18 points were tied at 9 points apiece. Makikita mo may iksi yung mga rallies. Teams trying to identify the weak link sa defense ng kalaban. But more than that, very sharp players in terms of execution, in terms of finding the open space. Ang galing ng dalawang playmakers, ang bilis magpasa at eksakto yung mga assists sa kanilang mga kasama.
Morado tries it again. Oh, Gunsanya was right there. Tiamzon saves it. Great floor defense by the Lady Spikers. Attacking Miss Gopico. She's rejected. Maraginot. What an exchange early on in set number 1, 9-all. Oh, spectacular save by Morente. Fajardo, that's returned again. Both teams showing great floor defense. Here's Maraginot. Ogunsanya chasing after it. Cheng will set it up. Tiamzon comes up short, and Ateneo wins the long rally, 10-9.
That is the longest rally so far that we've seen here in the first set. But more than that, that is the kind of effort that you will have to bring in consistently all throughout the course of the finals. Diving, sliding, scrapping for every dig, and then able to put away. Pero yun, galing sa attack. Atake ng Lasal, yung attack error nila.
Makandili still made an attempt to bring it back in. That's how tenacious this little girl is. But what an ace there for Morado, giving Ateneo their biggest lead once again.
Team Fajardo, Gia Morado, not only are the top 2 setters in the last 3 years, but they are also the highest scoring setters and the best serving setters here in the competition. Alam ko, 34 aces si Gia Morado, 35 si Kim Fajardo.
Oh, and she proves you correct, Coach Ronnie. Displays that magnificent BLD, the ultra fun serve. Yet again, biggest lead of Ateneo right now at 3 points, prompting Coach De Jesus to call a timeout.
Kailangan maging wise tayo pagpalo, hindi na pagod ang ganun din sa service. Diba? Kunin nyo yung time ninyo, meron naman 8 seconds na din. So huwag tayo nagmamatay itong pawisan na referee sa akin at observe. Nagmamatay tayo, ang dami natin nagmamatay. Okay? So huwag tayo magigay ng away na lang natin yan. Sa puntosan, kita kagad yan, okay?
Take a look at the form and how the ball travels across the net. Just flat, making it difficult.
And the placement.
And placement as well.
And identifying a probable weak link sa receiving ng De La Salle. Right now, Ateneo with 3 service aces, La Salle with 1. At La Salle with 2 service errors, Ateneo has none.
Another poor reception for La Salle. Cheng will fire it in. Morado sets it up. Wait a minute.
That's a
very
rare mistake coming from Gia Morado. First referee deemed that the ball landed too long. Nagtagal sa mga kamay ni Gia Morado. Trying to freeze the defense. Instead, an infraction was called against season 78 or season 77 top setter Gia Morado.
First referee, Yul Binosa, while Oliver Mora is our second referee. Here comes Morente. Got the tape of the net. Tiamzon, the sophomore, fires one in and she scores.
Team Chamson, Desiree Cheng, 2 large reasons why La Salle is back in the finals. Kailangan bumomba ng gusto yung mga papasahan ni Kim Fajardo.
Sister of Desiree Cheng texting. La Salle down by 1. Tan with a reception. Maraginot. Yes.
Through the block, off the block rather. First point for Maraginot, who exploded in that win versus UST. Joe Maraginot scored 5 points versus La Salle in the first round meeting. Did not play in the second round matchup versus La Salle.
We just saw Luel Maraginot, the mom of Joanna. Sorry, Lutz Lovell. And she scores an ace.
4 service aces for the Lady Eagles against the top receiving team. Right now, yung first ball dito nila Coach Ramil na problema. Hindi naman kayang takpan lahat itong si Don Macandili, yung paglalagyan ng service ng Ateneo.
You just saw a moment ago, Hedy Morado. Obviously the mom of Gia. Different form, but great result for Maraginot on the serve. Here comes Ateneo. Morente attacking. Set back on the first touch by La Salle. What a block there by Tiamzon. Valentino, Macandili was right there. Tiamzon again, that's off.
Looking for a check ball, will not be given. And again, the rallies are becoming longer, but Ateneo's floor defense also solid. This allowing La Salle from finding the hole and crease in their defense as may Luna early entry here. Picking out itong si Team Chamson. 4-point lead for Ateneo, biggest margin within this set so far.
Luna replacing Tiamzon. Luna started playing volleyball at 13 years old. There's Maraginot serving it long.
Luna played well in the finals of season 78. Had some critical points in that win by La Salle versus Ateneo. One of the biggest names for La Salle in the last few years. Former UAAP MVP Ara Galang in the house for La Salle.
Maraño is actually here as well. Luna unable to put that thing away, but D scores again for LaSalle. Back-to-back points, Coach Ronnie, as LaSalle tries to bounce back. There's Abby.
Ang angas ng LaSalle. And also a multiple champion for the De La Salle Lady Archers.
If you think about it, Coach Ronnie, 9 straight finals.
Unparalleled.
That's since season 70. Season 70 since they started going to the finals. Unbelievable. 16-13. That's a 3-point lead for the Lady Eagles over the Lady Spikers, set number 1. There's Showtime's Vice Ganda on your screen.
And OG Diaz, of course.
That's right.
Of course, Vice Ganda went to FEU.
Always when FEU was competing in Final Four last season.
Of course.
She was always there. Speaking of FEU, women's division, 29 championships.
Right. The most number.
29.
I think LaSalle is number 3.
9. Yeah, they're number 3.
Behind UST.
UST is 15.
And then UP is in the 4th spot with 8.
But this is since season 1. But we're talking about
Last 9 years. Last 9 years.
If we're talking about last 9 years, well, it's actually last 23 years. It's LaSalle, nothing but LaSalle. 9 straight finals out of 23 years.
Lucky break here para dito sa LaSalle. No coverage and that deflection by Ateneo, but instead, that ball decides to drop out. Luna scoring against a double block. First point off the bench para dito kay Coach Ramil de Jesus.
And Coach Ramil saying he wants this more for the girls as they try to prove na yun nga, they can also move on without Ara, without Mika, without Sid, that they can win for themselves. And that's why what motivates him to get these girls to the top, Coach Ronnie.
That is always top of mind for coaches. Everything they do for the school and the players, of course. As Majoy Baron commits another service error, that will be the 4th or 5th service error for LaSalle in this match so far.
What an angle for D as she starts to warm up, but you've got to commend the serving, Coach Ronnie, and these two-a-days na practice ng Ateneo seems to be paying off with these spectacular serves. Unfortunately, D just too good on the attack.
And that is the first line of offense, something that you're in control of, and something that you can really work to be better with dahil may oras ka dyan at ikaw lang talaga yung nasa service line. Campfire. And that's a campfire here for Ateneo. Miscommunication. Lead down to 1. Big fight back for LaSalle.
There's Sid Demesilio.
Always quiet. Oh, actually, extremely efficient.
Soft-spoken type.
But knows how to win.
That's a big swing.
Oh! Another service error for LaSalle. If not for too many service errors, which totals 4, baka iba ang ating tema ngayon. Dalawa kay Majoy Baron dyan sa 4 na service errors para dito sa LaSalle.
Biggest lead of Ateneo, 4 points. LaSalle led by 1 at the start of the set. Let's see if the Lady Eagles can take advantage. What a play. They drew up for D and see the decision. No touch whatsoever as it is Ateneo point.
Another free point for Ateneo and that attack error for LaSalle. Ganda nung tago sana para kay Kindi but she failed to connect. And once again, the lead has swung to 3 points once again for Ateneo.
And Hekiliana checking in. 4th-year player taking psychology for Ateneo, replaces Kat Tolentino. Another strong attack as D, after she seemed to have gotten her groove, Coach Ronnie, a couple of errors for her. And Ateneo is back up with her biggest lead of 4. Timeout here by DLSU.
Puntos, hindi naninigay. Sir, Gana, pag hindi ka nakapwesto, gumamit ng paraan yung ginagawa mo, hindi kahit hindi awkward na, pumapalo ka ng malakas. Diba? Dapat nakapwesto sa pinamataas sa mga buto, pumapaluin, hindi ka pa narinig sa pinamataas at pumapalo ka na eh. Kahit nakaluga pa lang eh. So, kailangan natin pumasa, kailangan natin, hindi pa malapit lang yan, no?
Well, Kim D. Pinagsasabihan ni Coach Jesus as you take a look at Gerald Ten. And there's Janice Choi. We had to point that out as well.
Nagkatabi lang. Natatawa ka.
just coincidentally they
Yes,
happen to find themselves sitting beside each other. Cheng fires it in. It's picked up Maraguinot, and she has the third touch, and she scores. This is now the biggest lead of the Lady Eagles at 5 to the delight of the Ateneo fans.
Biggest lead para dito sa Ateneo, 5 points.
C500 best play of the game so far.
And anytime you give up so many 3 points sa yung attack errors at service errors, talagang hindi mo maitutuloy yung habol mo. And right now, Ateneo is a tough team to defend. Hindi sisipa ang opensa, problemado ang depensa. Ateneo looking right, having a 6-point advantage. Laban dito sa De La Salle. Excellent block, offensive block coming from BDL De Leon.
You've got to admire the athleticism of Joanna Maraguinot. Again, no knee problem whatsoever, Coach Ronnie. Attacking, jumping, backing up. Keep these scoring against a single block of Maraguinot, but the damage has been done, Coach Ronnie.
That's right. La Salle looking to fight back late here in the first set. Good misdirection by Kim Fajardo. Kim D needs to find more points for De La Salle. She is the top attacker for La Salle all year long.
What a serve. But what a great save by Giselle Tan. Ogunsanya. Otiliana picks it up. And there's De Leon with the point. 23-17, a 6-point lead for Ateneo.
Without Majoy Baron inside, Duque Ogunsanya has to work doubly hard in terms of net defense. Butas na butas yung two-man wall. As the Lady Eagles rejoices because they are 6 points ahead and only 2 points away from wrapping up the first set.
Arian Layug, a rookie out of Holy Angel University, checks in. He replaces Kim Fajardo. Another great serve from De Leon this time. Layug is blocked. Cobb is also in for La Salle. Morado. Maraguinot. That's low. Point for La Salle.
First time for La Salle to string up 2 consecutive points in quite a while. Ateneo stranded at 23 points. Kim Montalvo, Aljun Melesio for the De La Salle Green Archers, also seeing action in the field oil. No?
That's right.
Na nagbukas na kahapon.
If I'm not mistaken, De La Salle absorbed a loss in the recent game.
Together with Ateneo, which dropped its initial
Also
game versus JRU. That's why you play in the preseason to fine-tune your entire package.
Cheng still keeping DLSU within striking distance. Set number 1. Coach Taibudin wants to talk things over as you take a look at that last point by the Lady Spikers. What was once a weakness for Ateneo, Coach Ronnie, they've turned into one of their strengths today. They've blocked La Salle several times as you look at Jolinda Ogunsanya, the mom of Duki. And obviously, as with that, their offense and their serving, that's why they have a 4-point lead here.
La Salle imploding a bit. 11 unforced errors for La Salle. 11 of 23 points for Ateneo coming from the unforced errors of the Archers.
Maraguinot, that's off the tape of the net. That's 4 touches. Maraguinot, back-to-back errors. And La Salle within 3.
And this combo of Coach Ramil De Jesus conspiring to not only shin the deficit, pero parang mas solid yung rhythm na nakikita natin while Ateneo has lapsed into a series of attack errors. Right now the lead is down to 3.
Right now I still see people just walking into their seats here after spending so much time in the queue outside of the Araneta Coliseum. Tail end of set number 1, 23-20. Biggest lead of Ateneo was 6. La Salle led by just a single point early in the first set. Another long rally in the making. Layuk. Tan sets it up. The former setter now turned libero. Ogunsanya. Free ball for the Lady Eagles. Morado to Maraginot, fires and scores!
Too many opportunities given up by LaSalle for Ateneo.
Gatorade spike of the game from Joanna Maraginot, redeeming herself after a couple of errors.
And Ateneo needed that. And that last attack point coming from one of the best scorers in this year's competition. Pushing Ateneo to a 4 set point advantage versus LaSalle. Then Lazaro.
Then Lazaro, former libero of Ateneo.
Former top libero.
That's right. There's a net violation against Ateneo.
And it will require a perfect 3 rallies for LaSalle in their bid to lengthen this first set.
Well, this is the closest the Lady Spikers have been in a while, 3 points. But again, like what you mentioned, Ateneo just a point away from closing out set number 1. Cheng with a serve. Morado down the middle, and then Maraginot closes it off for the Lady Eagles. Errors of LaSalle did them in. You mentioned, Coach Ronnie, 11 earlier.
So many.
And that hurt them, allowing Ateneo to control the tempo, be more confident on their attacks, and carve out a 25-21 win in set number 1 versus DLSU. Set number 1 of game number 1 in the books. Ateneo winning 25-21 versus DLSU. Let's take a look at the numbers and break it down.
LaSalle had an early lead versus Ateneo, but early service errors and inability to be precise with their attacks or spikes did them in. 11 of Ateneo's 25 points coming from LaSalle's unforced errors, and that completely negated yung advantage ng LaSalle sa kanilang attack points. At yung tibay na inaasahan natin sa net defense ng LaSalle, hindi lumabas. At ang bumida pa rin sa blocking ay yung team ng Ateneo. And of course, yung reception, yung statistical categories that LaSalle has topped all throughout the course of the year. Blocking and receiving, binasag ng Ateneo at hindi naman lumabas yung pangit for Coach Ramil De Jesus.
And speaking of Coach Ramil De Jesus, actually went to the bench, put in Layug, put in Luna, put in Cobb, but still no effect, Coach Ronnie. It didn't spark the offense, it didn't change the tempo. And again, the 11 errors hurt them obviously, as you see another PLDT Ultra Fun serve. And this is what we want to point out. The serving of Ateneo in set number 1 continues on, and how solid it's been. And you know, such a benefit for them on offense as they, you know, kick off a game.
Anytime you have the first line of attack working for you, chances are it puts pressure on the defense right away. But remember, LaSalle's major strength on defense is their receiving.
Right.
Number 1 sila. They have Don Macandili, they have Desiree Cheng, but right now hindi lumalabas yan. Samantalang yung pati yung sa service, matindi sila, pero they sprayed their serves and they gave up a lot of points sa kanilang service errors as well.
Maraginot unable to get it through. There's Morente goes long as we check in with Denise Dinsan.
Unity, Eric and Coach Ronnie. This time around, Mitch Morente, Ana Gopigo, and Maddie Madayag joined to complete the Katipunan girls squad. Captain Gia Morado reminded the girls that they are one, but each of them are different parts, represent different parts, and they must all do the best of their ability so that they can win this game. Snapping at it, Gia, that it's all about being in sync with each other and having open communication on the court. More about the Lady Eagles later. Gentlemen, back to you.
All right, thank you, Denise. Morado, you've got to commend the way she's been distributing the ball and using all of her many offensive players. There's a check ball Coach Taibun didn't want, but Yul Benosa, first referee, saying no call.
Walang itinawag.
Anything.
Walang itinawag yung ating mga linesmen, and that call will stand.
Oh, but there seems to have been the pinky finger. At least from that quick replay, seems like there was. 2-all, set number 2.
That's a good break for De La Salle. And now they tie this match at 2 points apiece here in the second set.
D. Morado to Maraginot. What a dig by Cheng. And you mentioned her ability defensively, Coach Ronnie. And there is an overreach, it seems, or a net violation versus Ateneo.
La Salle waking up, not allowing themselves to be in a deep hole early. Going into this game 1, I think Coach Ramil De Jesus knows for the fact that Ateneo is the best serving team. eh sigurado tinrabaho nila yung reception nila. Ateneo, I believe, has at least 29 more aces, or 19 more aces than Salle after the 2 rounds.
Maraguinot scoring there. It hasn't shown yet that improvement, all that practice in the reception. And let's see the adjustments after losing set number 1 of DLSU as we go to Bea Escudero.
Coach Ronnie, leading up to the finals, the Lady Spikers did not waste any time and focused on reviewing old games and kept their attention solely on their movements, which they say may help them as they enter Game 1 this afternoon. Now, Tintimzon mentioned that she and the girls are using their back-to-zero mindset because, like she said, it's anybody's ball game this afternoon. Now, given that this is the 6th finals match of the blue and green, the defending champions are more determined and eager to go home with good news. But they are reminded that this goal will not come easy, and in order for that to happen, the girls must learn to keep the tempo of their game consistent and show a smart and fierce team inside. That's all for now. Back to you, Boomin. Back to you, Coach Ronnie.
All right, thanks, Bea. Ateneo up by 1-4-3 in set number 2. There's D with the tip. A big attempt there by Wong. She is unable to get the up. There's Prince Rivero, Ben and Bala checking out the action.
Yan ang mga middle blockers. And we expect Team D to really propel her team in terms of offense. They need her to be more efficient. They need her to be more consistent. Primary point of attack on offense. And likewise, si Madjoy Baron has to recover her bearings dahil nag-slide yung laro niya after starting out so well for LaSalle, scoring the first 3 points for LaSalle in the first set.
There's Baron on the attack. Morente has been consistent since set number 1. There's D, who's had her ups and downs since last set. Morente off the tape of the net, but no, according to Luis Venosa, it's off the block.
Coach Ramil contesting that call. A break earlier for LaSalle and now a swing break para dito sa Ateneo. Ateneo up by 1.
Couldn't catch the quick explanation by Venosa, first referee, to Kim Fajardo, but the point is awarded to Ateneo and they lead by 1-5-4. Set number 2, another good serve. Gopico gets an ace and Ateneo up by 2.
Very shaky first ball once again for De La Salle. And to think that Desiree Cheng is in the top 10 in terms of reception efficiency, sila ni Don Macandili of 45. The first ball para dito sa La Salle all year long. But so far, siyang na-identify na weak link dito ng Ateneo sa reception.
Fajardo. There's D. She scores.
And this time, Desiree Cheng up to the task, enabling Fajardo to give up that nice pass. Para tumibay ang opensa ng La Salle, kailangan tumibay ang kanilang reception. Yan ang bala nila. Eksakto. Former top libero, former rookie of the year in the UAAP, Elisa Gohing together with Chuck Cruz.
Morado to Morente off the block. Yes, against the single block of Cheng. Back to a 2-point lead for Ateneo.
Nearly 20 points per match versus La Salle is what the comeback in Mitch Morente brings. Was not a part of Ateneo last year. Looking to help out Ateneo regain the crown from La Salle.
Rare service error for Ateneo, who's been on point the service area the entire first set.
Joanna Maraguinot making sure that she enjoys the moment in the biggest stage of the year.
Underhand set for Morado. Double block against Tolentino. No way that was going through.
Believe it or not, that is the first offensive block for La Salle in this match. They had none in the first set. Madjoy Baron, Luke Ogansanya, Kim Fajardo had about 29% of the total number of points of La Salle in that win versus UST coming off kill blocks.
Nice set by Morado to Deleon.
Miss hit coming from BDL. And La Salle goes to the first technical timeout on top by 1 versus the Eagles.
Game number 1 of the finals, attracting so many personalities. U.S. Ambassador to the Philippines, Sung Kim, who just had a drink of water because of the hot action we're seeing here at the Araneta Coliseum. Also, so many people watching from all over the Philippines from Tuguegarao.
Right.
Francis Perez.
Of course, together with Sung Kim, together with Butch Ramirez.
That's right. And also, Professor Roberto Alonso from the UP School of Economics. We pray for your quick recovery, sir.
Perfect connection between Kim Fajardo and one of the best middle blockers, middle hitters dito sa ating competition, Majay Baron. Lasal now on top by its biggest margin here in this set, a 2-point lead.
Matches the biggest lead of Ateneo in set number 2. Morado, they go back row to Maraguinot. That seemed high, but Kiana D picks it up, and that's a Lasal error.
Well placed by Joanna Maraguinot. Kung titignan natin, hindi ito yung palong Joanna Maraguinot. Back row play. But just enough force to be able to beat the big defense of Kim D.
Good reception. Underhand set for Fajardo. Wow, Cheng poured it all in right there, but just went a little long.
Kim D has started down, regaining her scoring rhythm. Pero kinakailangan si Chamson has to step up to the plate together with Desiree Cheng. Hindi kakayanin ni Baron at ni Kim D kung sila lang ang pupuntos para dito sa Lasal.
That is wide for Gat Tolentino.
Very rare service error para dito sa Ateneo in the first 2 sets. They had 4 service aces out of the 25 points that they scored in the first set.
From Baguio City National High School out of Tarlac, that's Majoy Baron playing in her 4th season for the Lady Spikers.
Wow.
Another great move, Morado, and everybody knows that's in her arsenal, but you can never really be prepared when she does it. McFree's instant replay.
Twice in the first set, her dump plays were defended well. But this time, she finds the donut in the defense of De La Salle. Second best scoring setter this year from San Agustin. A 4th-year player, only 21 years old and many-time member of the national team already.
Maraguinot again, that is long. There's a, well, Coach Buntin asking for a check ball and he's pointing at someone, but none of the lines judge and none of our umpires saw anything.
For us, we have the benefit of review, but for our 2 referees and our linesmen, wala sila niyan eh. So kung ano lang talaga yung nakikita nung naked eye, dun lang talaga sila aasa.
Gopico with a miss hit. Tiamzon off the block. Maraguinot again. Ateneo going to their big gun.
Oh!
Set number 2, and 2 players collide in an error committed by La Salle, and we are tied at 11.
3 points, unforced errors. They have to be at a minimum just to make sure that you stay close to your opponent, something that La Salle was not able to do, lalong-lalo na dun sa duluhan ng ating unang set.
And you've got to, you know, imagine and think about the what-ifs, Coach Ronnie, and for La Salle, what if we can lessen our errors?
Well,
where would they be in set number 2?
And that's why hindsight is the perfect sight. But you have to stay in the moment, recover right away, rebound plays right away, and move on to the next play, or else, before you know it, ang laki na naman ng kalaban.
Outside yun, outside yun, outside yun. So we cannot say, no? Outside.
Another explanation for a similar play from first referee Yul Binosa.
2-point lead of La Salle, complete race right now by Ateneo.
Kahit si Coach Ramil De Jesus naghahanap ng check ball doon, pointing at someone. Tiamzon, she takes one back after committing an error earlier.
And that is the best solution. Ibaon mo na. Huwag mo nang ipa-check ball. Para wala na talagang contention. They needed that point coming from Chamson. Umaayos sa mga paso ni Kim Fajardo. Kailangan lang tumibay ang reception at ang big defense ng La Salle para maka-atake ng mas maayos yung kanilang points of attack.
Another deadlock at 12. Morente. Check ball.
What a pass coming from Gia Morado. Ang galing mangling lang. Papahulain yung depensa. When you're trying to defend against very good attackers, take a look at Phil Cainglet. Hindi lang yung open hitters, hindi lang yung opposite hitters ang titignan mo. Yung setter. Dahil siya yung gumagawa nung pasa. Siya ang gumagawa ng scoring situation. Siya yung dapat bantayan.
After spectacular serving in the first set, Coach Ronnie, a few service errors by Ateneo here in set number 2. That's why it's been a close one compared to set number 1.
Correct, and this is where LaSalle gets 3 points, this time coming from Ateneo's unforced error, so that's why we're tied right now with 13.
Morado to Copico, quickly rejected. Both teams with 4 service errors here in set number 2. Off speed by Morente. And this is what you like about the attackers of Ateneo. You mentioned Morado and how good she is in terms of setting up the offense. But again, also these players, they have an arsenal of styles and ways to set the ball across, Coach Ronnie, na nahihirapan din yung blockers of DLSU.
Very hard to guard, triple-double average in terms of scoring, digs and reception. Knows how to read the defense, talking about Mitch Morente.
Oh, Tiamzon starting to heat up here. Against 2 blockers, found a way to get it through. And from a difficult angle as well. Take another look here.
Excellent back set by Kim Fajardo. Hindi nakasara yung 2-man wall. Nahanapan yung butas ni Chamson. Tied once again at 14.
Oh, service long for Tiamzon.
This is the part of the competition wherein you have to temper your emotions because sometimes you tend to overdo things if you're a little bit too excited. Comes with experience, comes with control, and the right focus. Dahil kung hindi, bawat gagawin mo, manggigigil ka.
Gotta calm yourself down as LaSalle gives the lead back to Ateneo, but Ateneo gives the point right back. 5 service errors apiece. And we're tied at 15.
Almost impeccable serving from Ateneo in the first set. The result, they built and lead as high as 7 points. But not here in the second set. LaSalle benefiting from Ateneo's service errors. As Michelle Cobb is a designated server right now coming up for the Archers.
A walk-in rookie. Cobb.
And the future of LaSalle's playmaking.
Yeah, could be. How good she is. She does the setting right now, even though Kim Fajardo is in the line. Oh, what an attack from Maraguinot.
That's a pipe play that scores the 16-point for Ateneo as we head into the second technical timeout.
Back here at the Big Dome for game number 1 of the finals. Carl Baisa.
Carl Baisa, of course, helping out Ateneo survive that game 1 5-setter versus NU. NU had a set to 1 advantage, but Ateneo won the 4th and 5th sets in a nail-biter as they moved themselves only 1 win away from a 3-peat versus the hard-fighting NU Bulldogs.
And if it turned out any other way earlier, Coach Ronnie, that would have been the first loss of Ateneo in season 7. Yeah, because they
to be unbeaten.
They swept 14-0 the eliminations, sending the men's division to a step-ladder format. That's off the tape of the net. Error for DLSU as Ateneo gets their biggest lead again. 2 points, 17-15. Mequillana comes in to play Scott Tolentino.
This is the part of the set. After you reach the second technical timeout, that you have to really put your errors to a minimum at pilitin mong itaas yung level ng laro. Dahil lalong-lalo na ngayon, Ateneo has already built a 2-point lead versus LaSalle.
Cobb sends it to Baron, who was
that was a good low quick set para dito kay Majoy Baron to be able to beat the net defender. Good pass coming from Cobb. Talagang sinashuffle ni Coach Ramil, ano? Maski sa first set, ginawa na niya yan.
Maraguinot against 3 blockers. Yes!
Very rare do you find an attacker attracting 3 blockers or a triple block. When you go back to the time of Eliza Valdez, wherein it takes a triple block to be able to stop a superior attacker. At that time, Maraguinot beating the triple block, giving Ateneo another 2-point advantage.
Poor reception from Sheng as Bea De Leon gets a PLDT ultra fun serve, and this is the biggest lead of Ateneo at 3 points in set number 2.
Ayun, focus ang problema, focus lang tayo. Alam niyo na kung saan tatarget yung tao eh. Back to left focus. Diba, alam niyo naman kayo babasa nga. Bakit sasaksak ka pa doon? Alam niyo gagawin ng nag-serve. Bakit hindi natin mapwestuhan? Aksesa lang eh. Lumalayo ng kurmali natin eh. Diba tawag ng pangalan? Kaya ka pinasok. Tawag ng pangalan ko, hindi patulan ng patuloy mo. Okay? Sige! Pero,
Coach Ramil De Jesus wants Cobb to really call it out, define the plays, so that there won't be any confusion when it comes to the offense.
That's one. Pero yung reception nila, yung first ball, problemado. Cheng is a 41% receiver. But today she's struggling. Sabi ni Coach Ramil, alam na nila kung sinong tatargetin, kung saan dadalhin. You just have to be ready.
And Cheng, Makandili on the same line.
Umilag si Cheng.
So Makandili had to kick the
Tignan mo
try.
naman, dito pa lang litaw na kung saan dadalhin ni BDL yung service. And she was able to identify that Cheng was moving forward, leaving the gap doon sa zone 1.
Another ace, another point. Over receive. Oh, what a lucky break for Morente as LaSalle continues to be flustered in the last 3 sequences.
3 straight na problemadong serve receive para dito sa LaSalle, and not even the best receiver can salvage the second ball para dito sa Lady Archers. And now the lead is at its biggest, and it has ballooned to 5 for the Ateneo Lady Eagles.
De Leon, magnificent serving so far. Ogunsanya gets it to crawl across the net. Maraginot, this time to jump, and what a block at the net. Ogunsanya, Fajardo working in tandem.
And for the second straight set, let's take a look at Andre Felix. LaSalle has to be able to fight back, chase down a 4-point advantage of Ateneo. Service has to be precise, defense has to be solid, at kailangan sumipa yung mga attackers dito ng De La Salle.
Coach Ronnie, LaSalle needed that stop. They needed to score, but they throw away any sort of tiny momentum that they build with these errors. And we talked about how they minimize their errors at the start of set number 2, but they're back to their old ways again.
67 errors in the first 2 matches combined. 11 errors of the first 25 points by Ateneo in the first set. And it has spilled over here all the way to the second set for LaSalle.
Morado goes to Morente this time. Fires one in. Is there a check ball?
Looking for a check ball, looking for a touch. Walang itinatawag dito so far.
First referee, Pinoza, really was careful and checked everyone, including second referee, Oliver Mora. Ooh. Another missed call right there, as that was clearly a check ball.
If you don't get the chance to see it, then you rely on your linesman.
And again, we don't have the benefit of replay here. Ace for LaSalle. They badly need a bit of a run here, Coach Ronnie. A bit of momentum, a bit of confidence. But Coach Saibundit wants to halt that calls.
And he calls timeout right away. Yeah. After 2 straight points by LaSalle.
Well, trying to shift the momentum back, Coach Ronnie, and Coach Saibundit calling a timeout.
That's of course back on Austria with Ma'am Debitan of Ateneo.
Yeah, former Blue Eagle. Precarious situation right now if you're DLSU. You want to get a string of points.
Ooh.
And they get lucky. That was on the line, says the lines judge. Point for LaSalle, and this could be the start of a mini run for the Lady Spikers.
I believe this will already be 3 straight points for LaSalle. And Kim Fajardo is the best person to be able to try and inspire the rest of the Lady Archers come out of this rut that they are in.
you can hear the rate of boos here. You be the judge of the replay on where that ball is, but that is clearly out from Morente. Ateneo asking for a check ball, they don't get it. And La Salle needed a run, they got a run. They are within 1 after trailing by 5 against Ateneo.
Ganun kabilis mag-swing ang momentum. But one thing going for Ateneo, they're only 3 points away from a 2-set advantage, and they're still a point ahead of the Archers.
And again, boos echo all around. A big dome, but unfazed is Kim Fajardo, scores another ace, completes a 5-point run to tie the game at 22.
And this is the best setter. This is the number 1 player in terms of service aces this year so far, with 35 aces scored heading into the finals. Reception problems hounding both teams. It killed La Salle's chances in the first set to overturn a late first set deficit. But right now, reception problems also hitting Ateneo as they allowed La Salle to be able to catch up and tie them at 22 points. This was second set.
Coming alive inside the Araneta Coliseum.
Nabuhayan, ano?
With good reason. They've got a shot here in set number 2. Both teams 3 points away from taking this one. Ateneo winning set number 1, 25-21. What a block, but what a save as well by Tan. And that tip going wide. 6-point run by La Salle. And they're on top, 23-22.
La Salle riding the shoulders of team captain, ace setter Kim Fajardo, the graduating player, making sure that La Salle stays in the hunt. Ateneo looking to recover as they attempt to have a very good first ball versus Kim Fajardo's excellent service.
Barely reached by Gopico, but she gets it across. D. Morado with the up. Morente off speed. Macandini was right there. And no second touch for La Salle. We're tied at 23.
Excellent play coming from Mitch Morente. In the nick of time yung puntos na yon for Ateneo. But also smart play para dito kay Ana Gopico. Dahil yung talon niyang yon that completely disallowed itong si Gonzalo from reading yung bagsak ng bola. Richie Rivero, also of the De La Salle Green Archers.
Jamie La Victoria, third-year player, checks in, the service specialist. Good play. A good defense by Ateneo. What a save from Wong. Fajardo. One-handed save by Morado. Tolentino attacks. That's wide. And La Salle is at set point. 24-23.
Kat Tolentino was the best player for Ateneo in their first round win versus La Salle. But so far she has not connected. And the sea of green behind us exploding as La Salle gets its first set point versus Ateneo here in the second set.
La Salle's biggest lead, only 2 points, Coach Ronnie.
Saka dito lang sa dulo.
Yeah, and Ateneo led by as many as 5, but a 6-point run put La Salle back. But Duki Ogunsanya with the biggest error in her young career so far, a service error, and we're tied at 24. Maraginot hurriedly checks back in.
You have to be able to navigate your thoughts through the noise. You have to be able to compose yourself in tight points.
Gopico with a good serve. Macandili. D.
Ooh.
What a save by Morente.
But what an angle created by Kim D.
Cheng. What a block by De Leon. And it's a scramble. Ateneo rebounds and gets set point 25-24.
And now the shoe is on the other foot. Terrific solo block, single block coming from BDL Bea De Leon. Just like that, they erase a set point, and now they have their first set point of the second set as they attempt to build a 2-set advantage courtesy of a haymaker from Coach Taibundin.
Timeout here by DLSU. We'll listen in.
Nagkaroon ng pagkakataon, pumalo. Okay, hindi pa sa palo lang. Walang diretsong palo. Okay, sa pasa maganda lang. Sa maganda lang, sa pasa maganda lang. Ito sa pantay. Ito ka. Walang tumabot ang posite mo, ha. Babantayan ka. Isa ka din. Labas dito. Basta bigyan mo ng mga lesson. Sis ka na, babantayan ko. Babantayan itong dalawang to.
Well, sabi ni Coach Romel, isang pasa lang, but reception's been an issue all game 1 long for DLSU. Let's see if they can really set one up. Coach Taibundin, you can see at the bottom left of your screen, calming down Gopiko so she can get a good serve in. And that's what happens. Oh, what a big break for Lasal, Coach Ronnie.
This is about 21,000 people inside the Coliseum. And when you hear the noise inside the Coliseum, sometimes players do get distracted. Tao lang, ika nga. Once again, you have to navigate your way through the noise and compose yourself, especially in tight points. Set point of Ateneo erased with that service error. We're tied at 25 points.
Morado goes to Morente. Yes!
What a pass. Alam ni Gia Morado, hahabulin siya dito sa open. Biglang ibabato sa 5 sa kabila. Just a single blocker. Majoy Baron was late. Ateneo with second set point of the second set.
26 serving 25. Ateneo winning set number 1, 25-21. D. That's a good setup. That's a good play. Point DLSU. We're tied at 26.
Sabi ni Coach Ramil sa timeout, kung papalo tayo, pumalo tayo with conviction. Hindi basta palo na walang direksyon. And that is a picture of an attack with conviction. Another set point erased. We are at 26 all apiece.
Second set point for DLSU.
Oh!
They were looking for it, but they didn't get it. Ateneo is back, and they're at their third set point here, 27-26.
What a big break para dito sa Ateneo. They were on their heels and suddenly Majoy Baron with a miss hit. Akala natin lunod na si Gia Morado, but somehow they make something out of nothing.
Cheng, yes! Desiree Cheng erases the deficit, and we're tied at 27. Aragalan loves it, and the fans do as well.
And that's a big boost in the confidence bank of a struggling Desiree Cheng, as Coach Ramil Besos encourages and connects with Desiree Cheng.
Still looking for their second set point is DLSU. We're tied at 27. Baron with 5 points. Underhand set for Maraguinon. What a block. Kept alive. De Leon joust at the net. Won by Ogunsanya. Another joust. Won by Morado. Ogunsanya blocked, but out of bounds. It's set point number 2 for DLSU.
Cha Cruz, Mel going on their feet. Ogunsanya beating Bea De Leon at the net. Lasal with 2 straight points, erasing the third set point of Ateneo, but more than that, creating another set point for the green shirts.
This is what the finals is all about. De Leon blocked, kept alive, but no longer as DLSU, and they're running around like they won game number 1. The fans are going crazy, and I can barely hear myself here as DLSU equalizes the match 1 set apiece through great defense, and despite all the errors, Coach Ronnie, they managed to come from behind and take this one away.
Well, I thought that Kim Fajardo's thumbprint was all over the second set rally ng Lady Archers. It took Kim Fajardo to bail out Lasal, and they completed a huge fight back, and now we're equalized with both teams having 1 set each.
DLSU bucking the errors and bucking all the problematic issues they encountered in set number 2. They were down by 5, clawed their way back and in an extended set number 2 took it away from Ateneo, Coach Ronnie.
Well, these numbers, a slight picture of what happened doon sa second set. But I think it boiled down to Lasalle's composure in the tight points. Doon sa dulo, dahil I thought Ateneo will be going all the way with a 4-point lead at 20-18. But suddenly Kim Fajardo happened, and the rest of the De La Salle Guinard just rolled her shoulders. Tumapang eh. At parang nagulat din yung Blue Eagles bahagya doon sa dulo dahil na-resurrect pa ng Lasalle yung kampanya nila. Now, Ateneo looking to regroup and rebound from that slide late in the second set while Lasalle tries to just use that second set success as a springboard laban dito sa isang team na hindi pa nila tinatalo this year.
And Ateneo getting a taste of their own medicine after they won from behind in several sets in the elimination round against the LSU.
Totoo yan. Remember that in the finals, you cannot dwell in terms of when you make the mistakes. Bawal malungkot. You have to go to the next play, move on to the next defensive stop and focus on what lies ahead. Hindi ka pwedeng tumigil, malungkot at umiling ng masyadong matagal.
Maji Madaya got a Davao. Checks in for Ana Gupico as that is untouched and an error for DLSU as Fajardo was not able to connect with Ogunsanya. Let's go to Denise Dinsay.
Still heart-strong, even though this is the 6th straight finals appearance of the Ateneo Lady Eagles. It did not come easy, but the injuries and their losses only made them stronger. Pero gaya nga ng sinabi niyo, Coach Ronnie, hindi sapat na ang puso lang nila ang kanilang patibayin, pero pati dapat ang kanilang block and reception. Ganoon din ang sinabi ni Coach Ty Bundet na they need to have stronger arms for defense and do not lose their rhythm, especially at such a critical point in this game. Eric and Coach Ronnie.
All right, thank you, Denise. Well, yun nga, the words sabi ni Denise kanina at the start of the game was happy, unity, and heart strong. And they looked solid in towards the end of set number 2, Coach Ronnie. But yun nga, sinabi mo, Kim Fajardo happened and Lasalle found a way, 29-27 in set number 2.
I also believe that it also took Tim Chamson and Desiree Cheng's critical points to be able to help out Lasalle in their comeback bid. At tumibay din yung kanilang blocking. Of course, goes without saying na yung reception ng Ateneo ay bumaba ang efficiency din sa dulo ng ating second set.
Oh, Jackson, what an angle for her. As Lasalle gets a 2-point lead, 4-2. Let's go to Bea Escudero.
Eric and Coach Ronnie, as we witness a tight matchup here at the Big Dome, the Lady Spikers were reminded of who they are, and that is that they are not just a team in the finals once again, but rather a team in the finals trying to defend their crown. Now, over at the huddle, constant discussions about challenging themselves and pushing their capabilities to the limit were things Coach Ramil Desos gave as a motivation to the girls after 2 sets this afternoon. Which is why, as we get into the 3rd set of this match, the Lady Spikers are expected to show a high-spirited set of players that are not going to give up until the very last point. And lastly, to show them a team that wants it more. Back to you, Eric and Coach Ronnie.
Thank you, Bea. Well, it's awesome that Coach Ramil had to point out, now, you're no pushovers. You're the defending champions. You're looking for a back-to-back. And let's go back to our roots, what we're good at, and let's show Ateneo what we can do.
I always believe that it's mandatory for players to be able to hear the voice of their coach amidst all this noise. Lasalle, they 3-1 lead earlier, and they lapse into another series of unforced errors through their services. Ito lang dahilan kung bakit nakatabla na rito ang Ateneo at 4-all. Maraginot already in double figures, while Baron and King D already with 14 points for the De La Salle Archers.
Great touch from Baron. An easy over by Ateneo. Tiamzon. Yes, Tiamzon is on the mark here in set number 3, giving Lasalle the lead right back 5-4.
They have the best setter so far in terms of rankings. Alam ni Kim Fajardo kung kanino ibibigay para maka-atake, mabasag ang 2-man wall. Tim Chamson delivers for the Archers.
Can you imagine if Prince Libero actually played men's volleyball for GLSU? Ben and Bala.
Nabasa ko nga si Jaja Santiago, nag-dunk eh.
Like two-way players in terms of multi-sports. Cheng over the block and over the mark.
She was under the ball. That last attack, not able to make the necessary adjustments. Lasal had an early lead here in the third set. Could be the pivotal set that we're looking at.
Ikaw lang magre-recruit kung meron ako. Check out. Warning, aware.
Kim Bardo, team captain, trying to clarify it. Thrice she's been called by the first referee, Yul Benosa. They're tied at 5, set number 3. 1 set all. Baron is blocked. She's been checked. De Leon has done a good job timing Baron all throughout game number 1.
So kung bantayado ang gitna, kailangan niya pumalo at makapatay ng bola sila Samson, sila Cheng, and of course si Kim D. Diyan sa open.
Baron has practically been negated as Maragunot fires one in.
Pumuntos naman siya dun sa umpisa ng first set. Bantayado talaga.
Morado goes to the other side. Maragunot. D. Above the blockers. What a save there by De Leon. Excellent floor defense by Ateneo. Baron with the tip. De Leon kept alive momentarily by Macandili, but no more.
Look at the reaction of De Leon and Macandili. Trying to save every point. Trying to play every ball. De Leon beating the defense of Don Macandili. And now Ateneo is in the lead for the first time, I believe. Yep, here in the third.
And just, you've got to be impressed how fast-paced the rallies have been.
Mabilis talaga.
Cheng ties the game at 6.
She struggled in the first set, even all the way to the second set. Pero kung titignan natin, Desiree Cheng, nandyan ang tiwala ng super senior na si Kim Fajardo. Pinabawi, natuwa, at nakatabla muli ang Lasal dito sa ating third.
Poor reception by Giselle Tan results in an easy over for the Lady Eagles. Nice reach as that was really up top for Baron as she scores one here in set number 3.
Even on a miss hit, Majoy Baron finally scores. Benembala and Rivero, that's in approval. Puso So hard strong para dito sa Blue Eagles.
Underhand set off a poor first ball for the Lady Eagles. Cheng. Back row. Tolentino is off the mark.
That was nowhere close for the first-year player, who's having a hard time finding her scoring rhythm here today versus LaSalle Bontet. LaSalle's Bontet net defense.
2-point lead for DLSU. Matches the biggest of the game versus Ateneo in set number 3. Oh, the fans of both teams are all fired up, and former Lady Spikers getting some selfies in between points. And obviously fans, they've got to be happy. They're getting their money's worth here. Coach Ronnie, one set all, and LaSalle is up by 2 in set number 3.
Well, I guess when you're a UAAP champion, you got the benefit of taking selfies with each other and, of course, with your school fans. And it's not always that you see these players being able to come out. It's a work day today. Once again, it's a 3-point lead for LaSalle, enjoying the biggest lead of the third set.
Missed. Check ball. Well, there's a check ball call, yeah.
It was a quick call by one of our linemen.
De Leon has been serving very well in game number 1.
De Leon's parents in the house.
Cheng. Another back row attack from Tolentino, and she seems to be struggling, lacking a little bit of lift from that area. Back-to-back errors for Tolentino from the same play. Back to a 3-point lead for the Lady Spikers.
Here's Majoy Baron.
Baron. Safe serve. Morado winning the joust versus sophomore Ogunsanya. Cheng. Another joust. Ogunsanya wins that one. Good play by Tiamzon. Oh, been alive! Oh, but 3 players converge, and nobody touches the ball for the Lady Spikers.
Everyone walking away from the flight of the ball. Looking at the sequence, Baron, D, and Cheng were there. Then suddenly the ball dropped and Ateneo is only 2 points behind LaSalle.
Another good serve from Morado, who's been serving very well along with De Leon.
Sila ni Team Fajardo.
Actually. Oh, what floor defense by the Lady Spikers. Ogunsanya.
Haba ng reach, ano?
That is long from Cheng.
3-point lead. Almost erased right now by Ateneo. You have to convert right away from offense to defense or transition from defense to offense as quick as possible. Kanino pa pinupunto kasamang Eric. Ang bilis ng laro natin. Pati pag-serve, hindi antay nakaporma yung alignment. Papalo agad. Gulangan ng laban.
Cheng against 2 blockers. Popped up. Ooh, that set was iffy right from the beginning and Morado knew it.
Too tight. Good break for LaSalle. 2-point advantage. Green shirts.
That's too close to the net. Even for season 77's best center.
11 errors for LaSalle in the first set. Turned out to be disastrous for them. They lost the first set. In the second set, Ateneo 14 errors for the Lady Eagles and they lost the second set after nearly leading for 3/4 of the way.
Their turn to have some unforced errors. 3 points given to LaSalle in set number 2. That is off the tape of the net. Morente didn't get it across. 4 touches versus Ateneo. Just when they were within 1 point, Coach Ronnie at 9-10. LaSalle with a quick 2-point run to bring back a 3-point advantage.
LaSalle able to weather the first storm thrown at them by Ateneo.
12 serving 9. Can you say that LaSalle is in control of this set?
Not really, kasamang Eric. Overreaching call laban dito kay Duque Ogunsanya. They may have the advantage but Ateneo continues to be a dangerous opponent. Alam mo naman yung momentum swing dito sa ganitong klaseng laban. Maski sa dulo, kaya kang abutin if you drop your guard and allow the other team to fight back.
Well, LaSalle has only conceded the lead once. A 1-point lead for Ateneo early in set number 3. What a block against Tiamzon. It was pretty set. Madayag and Morente combining for the rejection.
Did not start today. Madi Madayag getting limited floor time all throughout this year. But in the finals, getting the nod from Coach Tybon Pitt. They need to level up with LaSalle's blocking efficiency.
Again, Ateneo. And it's closest, and they get an ace. As 2 players again, the same players who were confused with their positions and their roles in set number 2, commit the same error. Cheng and Macandili, and Coach De Jesus calls a timeout as Ateneo erases a 3-point deficit and ties it at 12.
This is the reason why I replied to you earlier na hindi pa kontrolado ng LaSalle yung third set dahil magkamali ka ng isa, madagdagan at masundan pa. Suddenly, your 3-point advantage has already evaporated.
And the swing of momentum, swing of the rhythm, and the swing of advantages.
And these are elite players and championship caliber teams.
Changes very quickly. And they all goes right. It's the caliber of the players.
They all know how to win and turn things around.
Make it difficult for any team to get an advantage. That will not count. 2 touches. Double contact versus the Lady Eagles.
But you can see the effort for all of these players to try and get a critical point. Ball bouncing, ball dropping. And Ateneo side, that's a easy call to make.
LaSalle back on top by 1, make that 2 off a misreceive by Maraguinot.
That's a drone-like serve by this year's leading server. Sabi natin kanina, close to 40 aces so far for the #1 scoring setter of this year.
Service error from Fajardo, but what a reply after the deadlock at 12, Coach Ronnie. What a reply by the Lady Spikers off a timeout by Coach Ramil. Quick 2-point run.
In as much as there are quick momentum swings, their ability to focus and refocus time and again, very crucial. Facial by Duque Ogonzanya on one-time best setter Gia Morado.
And that would have been good had Morente been able to get the up on the second time. Back to a 2-point lead for the Lady Spikers, 15-13.
Pwede nga tumama sa paa eh, buhay pa eh. Basta yung susunod na touch, buhay pa.
So different from back in the day, Coach Ronnie. No other part.
May side out yun kasamang Eric.
Side out, Irani.
Very good reception. Ateneo getting that nice quick play. Able to rebound quickly. And look at Gia Morado approaching.
Freeze instant replay.
Quick play off center. Still enough to beat LaSalle's wanted net defense.
Ateneo again within one. Tiamzon. Yes.
Si Kim Fajardo naman ang gumawa. How many adjectives do we need to use for Kim Fajardo and Gia Morado?
2-point lead for DLSU, 16-14, leading in both technical timeouts here in set number 3. Well, LaSalle may not have full control of set number 3, but they have been on top for majority of this set. Ateneo tied at 12, led by 1 early in this set. But LaSalle always on top, and their biggest lead was 3. One-handed save, Tiamzon, no good. Ateneo again within 1.
Remember that technical timeouts enable coaches to restore sanity sa composure ng mga players nila. You're able to talk to your players clearly. You're able to map your attacks more clearly as well. Right now, rebound point para dito sa Ateneo. Lead down to 1 for the Lady Archers.
Aquillana checking in for Tolentino.
Ooh!
That is overset.
Very rare. Overpass coming from Kim Fajardo. And that allows Ateneo to tie the count at 16. 2 straight points for the Lady Eagles after the second technical timeout. Hindi na magawa ng paraan ni Desiree Che. Kasi gamitin mo yung offhand mo, masyado nang malapit sa Antonio.
Second serve for the 4th-year psych student out of Ateneo. Another great solo block by De Leon on Baron. And again, De Leon's timing on Baron is perfect, but Cheng that time gets the point for DLSU.
This is why Desiree Cheng is so critical to LaSalle's offense. Another person that they need to guard, someone who can produce the bunch-shooted points, takes the load away from Kim Ding, Majoy Baron. Makes it harder for Ateneo's defense to guess kung kanino papasa si Kim Fajardo.
Is the offense of LaSalle much more predictable because we've seen more blocks from Ateneo, Coach Ronnie, than from Ateneo or from LaSalle to Ateneo?
Well, naaral naman lahat yan. That comes with scouting. But of course, you have to be efficient sa blocking as well. Predictable in a sense na konti lang talaga sa rotation ni Coach Ramil. But if you're really so good and you're so precise sa playmaking, kaya mo pa rin basagin yung depensa ng kalaban. 2 straight points naman para sa Lady Archers after Ateneo tied the count at 16. LaSalle on top, 32 at 18-16.
Both points coming from Cheng, and then the ace for D as LaSalle restores their biggest lead at 3 points, 19-16. Timeout here by Ty Bundit to listen to the Lady Eagles.
Yes, tulungan tayo ingay sa logo. Ingay tayo ha, ingay tayo.
Get 1 point. Pwede tayo dyan.
Ingay pa tayo sa logo before tayo. Tulungan tayo ha. Hindi lang naman tayo.
Hey, defender. Only left. Okay, ha? Handle, defender.
Ingay tayo sa logo before tatawag tayo ha.
marvel, Coach Ronnie, at how these teams respond to their coaches during a timeout under duress. And we'll see if Ateneo can bounce back. They were able to make runs to tie the game earlier. Let's see if they have another one in them.
Alam mo, kasamang Eric, para sa mga viewers, parang ang tagal ng timeout. Sa mga players at coaches, napakabilis yan. Hindi ka pa tapos. Marami ka pang gusto sabihin. Yung thought process mo, gumagana pa biglang. And so talagang you rely on your players to do quick thinking, compose themselves, and play the next point.
Maraguinot gets it through the two-lady block of Baron and Cheng.
They need Maraguinot to step up to the plate. She's been MIA for Ateneo after helping out Ateneo win the first set. Tinago ni Gia Morado itong si Joan Maraguinot to explode. Senduk sa Ateneo. It's 17th point of the third.
De Leon serves to Tiamzon this time. Cheng. Wow, Cheng has scored at least 3 points in the last 5 minutes for DLSU.
It took Cheng a set and a half to regain her fighting form. And right now, that fighting form has been a big thorn in Ateneo's defense. She provides a lot of firepower and the swagger for the Lady Archers.
All heart, Desiree Cheng, as she restores a 3-point lead. Now the biggest lead on this receive by Ateneo. 21-17, the Lady Spikers on top by 4.
Saga is about to come in for the first time for King Kiana Day.
Saga out of Siliman University, a sophomore.
Taga Mindanao.
Yep.
Siliman University, taga Negros Oriental.
I love how you're very good with geography and
Taga
location.
Dumaguete, to be exact. And here Ateneo finally breaks the scoring drought. Good reception in a quick set. Adi Madayag and Square delivers para dito sa Ateneo.
Dami nating players out of the Visayas. Mayong hapon sa inyo tonight. Thank you for watching.
Alam ko, galing si Coach sa palarong pambansa.
Actually, kasama si Coach Jerry Yee.
And look at this last call. Could be a pivotal call, but this time it goes in favor of Ateneo. Gotta move on to the next play. That call has already been made.
Let's take another look at the last sequence. A lot of boos ringing inside the big dome. Lead down to 2. Oh, but Ogunsanya restores it.
Kim Fajardo making sure that they play the next point quickly. Good first ball. Excellent serve. Excellent set rather for Duque Ogunsanya. Ogunsanya delivers another point for De La Salle.
Lead is 3 for the Lady Spikers. A chance for them to go up 2-1. Tip picked up by Fajardo momentarily, but Saga unable to keep it alive.
Gia Morado in her own quiet way trying to inspire and extract more energy from the Lady Eagles. Alam mo naman, it's a heart-strong, happy group that Coach Tai Bundit always wants to see, but right now they are on their heels as they're behind by 2 points. Kanina, tatlo yan at 22-19. Now, they have to fight back really hard dito sa duluhan ang ating pangatlong set.
La Victoria checks in for Maraguinot. Tiamzon adjusts. Oh, she finds the mark.
Misread coming from Dina Wong. Ball dropping in her area. Kim Fajardo salvaging this play. Tinaas lang niya yung bola. Akala ni Dina Wong masyadong malakas. Pero ikinanto ni Chamson yung palo niya all the way to zone 5.
And no team can afford to make poor decisions right now, Coach Ronnie, more so for Ateneo.
At ito ang problema. The biggest thorn in Ateneo's first ball or serve receive is on deck. And Kim Fajardo scores another ace. Gives La Salle 4 set points versus the Lady Eagles.
It's back to the biggest lead of the Lady Spikers as well. Chance to go up 2-1, 24-20. Tolentino off the chest of Macandili. Here comes Tiamzon. What a block by Mataya, who has been instrumental off the bench defensively.
Going back to Kim Fajardo, 6 aces today for the #1 serving athlete in the competition. Double wall, two-man wall versus Johnson. Ateneo saves 1 set point.
Coach De Jesus so adamant that somebody asked for it, want the responsibility to score the final point to get LaSalle their second set of game #1.
Well, #1, he respects Ateneo's capacity and ability to fight back. #2, they only need 1 point to close out the set. At naiintindihan niya, if you slide here sa duluhan, mahabol ka. Yan ang naging story ng ating second set.
Good reception for Macandili. D looking to close it out, rejected.
Good coverage by Macandili.
D rejected 2 times. What defense at the net by Ateneo.
Big play, big defensive plays. And this is an offensive block courtesy of the two-man wall. Once again, given by De Leon and Mitch Morente.
For a team that's ranked 5th in blocking, Coach Ronnie, Ateneo is stepping up huge here in set #3.
And their top blocker all year long has been Bea De Leon. Wow!
But Kim D, despite a 3-lady block, gets it off the tips of the fingers of the Ateneo defenders and closes it out for the Lady Spikers.
And that ball was deflected, disallowing Gia Morado from keeping that ball in play. Fist pump for Coach Ramil, and why not? For the first time this season, LaSalle has a 2-1 advantage in terms of set count versus the Lady Eagles.
Ateneo may have pursued LaSalle relentlessly in set #3, and although LaSalle did not have full control, they had the presence of mind and the strength to maintain a lead, keep a lead, and finish off Ateneo 25-22 to get a 2-1 advantage in set #3.
7 attack points in terms of advantage for LaSalle versus Ateneo. Problemado ang reception ng Ateneo kaya hindi sila maka-atake ng mayos. And even if LaSalle had more unforced errors, and even if Ateneo had more kill blocks than LaSalle, LaSalle service aces was a huge problem for Ateneo all set long. And eventually, going back to the tight points dun sa dulo ng third set, LaSalle's composure once again enabling them to be able to hold fort as Ateneo furiously tried to chase them down in Ateneo's bid to extend the third set. And right now, for the first time this season, Ateneo is a set away from a win versus Ateneo. LaSalle rather is a set away a win from Ateneo.
As the boys, the panelists from the NCAA, part of course of the ABS-CBN Sports family. Anton Rojas, Andrew Felix, Biggs Bustos, courtside at the Araneta Coliseum.
1 set away from us.
Set #4, just about to get underway. Game #1 of the finals. There's an ace to kick things off for the Lady Eagles.
I believe that LaSalle almost went wire to wire in that third set win. They had a very good start to open up the third, and this is one thing that Gia Morado is trying to bring for Ateneo. Build an early cushion, put pressure on the green shirts, force the green shirts to chase them down.
Good block again at the net by Morente. This time around, there was a missed time on the jump by Ateneo, and a point for DLSU.
LaSalle already with 31 unforced errors. Ateneo with a total of 26. But in terms of attack points, LaSalle with 41 versus Ateneo's 28. 2 players in double figures for Ateneo, 2 players in double digits for De La Salle.
But you got to be impressed. Cynthia Amzon, Coach Ronnie, 11 points to lead the way, and just a sophomore, and she's really showing her leadership and her skill. Let's go to Denise Dinsay.
Eric and Coach Ronnie, more so now than ever in the Ateneo. They need to keep their cool and maintain a calm presence of mind to avoid unforced errors. Eric, you mentioned a while ago that Bea De Leon's block were nicely timed. Well, aside from telling them to always meditate, Coach Typhoon that also tells the girls that when it comes to blocking, they must find the rhythm at huwag nila ito unahan. Gentlemen, back to you.
All right, thank you, Denise. Well, yeah, I mean, it's commendable, especially versus Paron. Out of all the players from LaSalle, Bea De Leon has got the timing down almost, as an art.
Ateneo's 6 skill blocks versus LaSalle's 3. Bea De Leon leading the way in that stat category for Ateneo all season long.
Tolentino off the hands of Paron. Here's an easy over by the Lady Spikers. Morente gets it off the block. Yamzon's hands. Ateneo up by 1, 3-2.
Ateneo's defense has to be better for Gia Morado to be able to locate Mitch Morente. Remember that you mentioned earlier that Morente is a 20-point scorer every time they face LaSalle.
Oh, really good, smart, soft hands by Kim D.
Very smart. No coverage for Ateneo. D beating the double block. Look at this play. Tip, soft touch, no problem for LaSalle's leading scorer.
Let's go to Bea Escudero.
Pray for each other and everything else will follow. Eric and Coach Ronnie, those were the exact words of Kim D over at the huddle. And we have come to know that this has been a constant reminder to the girls in every single game. But this afternoon is no ordinary situation with another set for the girls to overcome. Stepping up and playing their A game must be their top priority, most especially if they want to take the lead in the standings. But setting aside those things for a little while, Coach Ramildez has also tells the Lady Spikers how important it is as well to stay positive and avoid situations from affecting them, because that only shows maturity and focus among the girls. So with that, with a crucial set on the way, the Lady Spikers are hoping to fight with consistency and most importantly, power. More on the Lady Spikers later on. Back to you, Eric, Coach Ronnie.
All right, thank you, Bea. Well, they want the closeout. They want to show the fans. They want to prove to themselves they have that killer instinct, that drive to close out the set.
But nothing's going to be easy from here on.
That's true.
Jules Samonte seeing action for the first time. Jules Samonte was the biggest hero for Ateneo in their second round win versus De La Salle. Wala si Joanna Maraginot in that match. She scored a total of 10 points to be one of 3 players for Ateneo to score in double figures. First time to serve for Jules Samonte, a palarong pambansa standout who comes from De La Salle Sobel.
And in fact, I was talking to her dad, and apparently she was being recruited as well by LaSalle, but they just didn't like what was offered in terms of position and the play for her, and they liked her role for Ateneo. What Coach Typhoon did had designed for her. We listened to Yul Venosa, first referee. Second referee, Oliver Mora. I think they want the Ateneo bench to back up some more, as it may distract the players who are on the floor. 5-all. Set number 4. LaSalle up 2 sets to 1. Samonte was huge off the bench with 10 points in the last meeting between these two teams. Well, let's see if she can contribute as a rookie for the Lady Eagles. De Leon, what a dig by Tiamzon. Cheng is blocked. De Leon was right there again. Cheng tries, blocked. And a net violation as well for Cheng. She struggled to get across the defense of Ateneo.
Good net defense here for the Lady Eagles, disallowing Cheng from finding the opening. That pass was too tight, too close to the net. Ateneo on the brink. They're a point ahead versus LaSalle, looking to win the 4th set and extend this match into a 5th and final set.
And what a comeback for Cheng after being blocked twice and an error in the end. She gets one in,
excellent
untouched.
Underhand pass coming from Kim Fajardo. Pinabawi. Itong si Desiree Cheng. Bumawi naman si Desiree Cheng beating the defense of Ateneo.
6-all. The one-handed set. And this is going to be a hard return. And it's not... doesn't get across from Giselle Tan.
No matter how good your setters are, pag bumaba ang inyong first ball efficiency, problema at mapapagod ang mga playmakers.
LaSalle
It's Janelle Cheng, the sister of Desiree Cheng.
Right, LaSalle on top by 1 for the first time in set number 4. Maraguinot. Yamzon. Oh, she's been such a spark offensively, leading the way in scoring for the Lady Spikers, and they're up by 2, 8-6 versus the Lady Eagles. There's Desiree Cheng with a point right there in Yamzon. These two players are really doing all of the heavy lifting for the Lady Spikers here in set number 4 after being down by a point. They're up by 2 already. Maraguinot trims the deficit to 1.
Joanna Maraguinot, Mitch Morente, Madi Madayag, their offense has to come in here in the fourth set because right now Chamson, Cheng, scoring well for LaSalle. Pero parang kumunti ng uso yung atake ng Ateneo. In fact, in the third set, they will contain to only 7 attack points.
Tough setup for Fajardo. Maraguinot off the block, kept alive. Easy over for the Lady Spikers. A good rally here. Yamzon. Maraguinot not in position, and DLSU with a point.
You can just imagine the thought process going through the minds of the setters. Ang bilis nung desisyon nila kung kanino sila pupunta dahil kadalasan they are 2 steps ahead of the defense. Para dun mo ipasa, alam mo na kayang bumasag ng depensa dahil na-identify mo na yung butas sa depensa.
Back to a 2-point lead for DLSU, their biggest here in set number 4. Easy over for Ateneo. Oh, Gonzaga with a quick kill.
Right now, Ateneo's floor defense in shambles. Their transition has been having problems. And Kim Fajardo is making them pay.
Mading. Hey, you talking, you believe me. You jump how far? 1, 2, that's why you jump and defend easy. Not Nila defend, what do you?
One of the very first
Very rare.
times that we
Very
see
rare.
very animated.
Kadalasan, hard strong, active.
That's it. And now, more expressive and tone of voice much higher for the type of it.
Lakas ugat eh, kitang-kita mo eh. Because he knows that not only are they behind by a set and the 3 points away from LaSalle, pero nag-dip eh. Nag-dip yung laro, lalong-lalo na defensively, and that has affected their offense big time.
And the confidence of the Lady Spikers much higher since
Nakalamang na eh.
in the third set. Kim D with an error, a chance to get Ateneo going here. A little free point right there. Maraguinot ready to serve, down by 2. Another poor reception from Cheng, who's really struggled. Over received, but Ogunsanya unable to take advantage. And Morente has been money in game number 1.
Morado keeping Ateneo's boat afloat. Able to correctly identify the quick points of attack for the Lady Eagles. Ang ganda panuorin din ng matchup between Morado and Team Fajardo.
Fudgy bar, O-bar sa saya play as Morente makes it a 1-point deficit for Ateneo. Samonte attacks, she's blocked, kept alive and saved almost by Madayag. Back to a 2-point lead for the Lady Spikers.
Samonte roofed. Ball kept alive. But LaSalle keeping its head above water. Up by 2 points versus Ateneo here in the fourth.
11 serving 9, set number 4. Ateneo up 2 sets to 1. Samonte with the tip. Fajardo was right there.
Tremendous adjustment by Morado.
That's off the tape of the net. 4 touches against DLSU. And Coach Tai knew it right away.
Kita mo yung effort dito ni Gia Morado. At Kim Fajardo yung paghabol sa bola para makapasa ng maayos. Gia Morado trying to massage her left wrist a bit. Kaya na kasi bumagsak siya ng alanganin. Ooh.
Wow, just when Ateneo was within 1, Maddie Madayag with a service error back to a 2-point lead for DLSU. And this has been the hardest comeback for Ateneo, so to speak. They're only down by 3 maximum, and they have struggled, Coach Ronnie.
May pressure na kasama yung down. It's different when you're ahead, especially by a set, compared to being when you're down by this much.
Look at Tiamzon. 13 points already as compared to only 15 combined in the first 2 meetings against Ateneo.
Majoy Baron is the only one averaging, aside from Kindi, in double digits versus Ateneo. But Cheng was 9 points a game and Chamson was 7.5 points per game versus LaSalle. O Ateneo, sumipa na yung opensa dito sa ating Big One.
Cheng. She got it through the blockers, but her momentum carried her towards the net to the delight of the Ateneo fans.
Right.
And we're tied at 12.
Slowly but surely, Ateneo regaining rhythm. Their defense has been rock solid. Right now, they're staying away from defensive mistakes. Kailangan lang tumibay yung kanilang pag-serve.
Wow! Great serve, but better floor defense by LaSalle. And then again, they get the up on the De Leon attack. Morado goes to Samonte. Tremendous defense. LaSalle, that was all heart on defense as 3 times they were attacked. 3 times they replied, and they came out on top. And they get back a 1-point advantage. McFree's instant replay. Pancake saved by Fajardo.
And who makes that play once again? Kim Fajardo keeping the ball alive. Cheng pushing that ball long enough and wide enough beyond reach of Ateneo. 1-point lead for LaSalle.
Offense went awry for Ateneo right there. Samonte with a dunk. LaSalle up by 1. Cheng makes it a 2-point advantage. Wow, Desiree Cheng has been huge. Gatorade spike in the game. She and Tim Tiamzon, Coach Ronnie, been excellent for LaSalle in set number 4.
We talked about the need for Chamson, Cheng, to be able to help out Indy in LaSalle's offense. Majoy Baron has been shadowed well by Ateneo's net defense. But once again, LaSalle able to build a 2-point cushion as Indy and Cheng. And of course, Chamson has taken care of LaSalle's offense. Well enough laban dito sa Ateneo.
De Leon with a push. Fajardo. Cheng again, this time up by Tang, and they bounce back. Ateneo with an answer.
Finally, BDL connecting with Gia Morado. That has been a money play for Ateneo the last 2 years. Quick play. De Leon delivers, beating Majoy Baron. Ateneo only 1 point behind LaSalle.
Tolentino back in the game, replacing Jules Samonte. Free ball. Put away by De Leon as Ateneo erases a 2-point deficit and bounces right back. It seemed like a matter of seconds.
Ganda ng serve dito ni Tolentino. Biglang bumaba yung bola with a poor reception para dito sa LaSalle. Perfect time for BDL to string up 2 consecutive points.
Tolentino has struggled with her service, but has come up with 2 big ones at Ateneo. 3-point run to take the lead away from LaSalle, 15-14.
First ball woes, this time hurting De La Salle. BDL with 3 straight points. Just like that, Ateneo in front of the Lady Spikers.
De Leon is all fired up. And she is the, so to speak, heart of this Ateneo offense. There is an error on the attack by Baron. 4 touches, 4-point run for Ateneo. They're up by 2, 16-14, and the Ateneo fans are going crazy inside the Araneta Coliseum. Lady Spikers leading 2-1 versus the Lady Eagles. But right now, Ateneo is on top, 16-14 versus DLSU in set number 4. Alta Peeps on the blue side of the Big Dome. And it's been the serving of Tolentino and the offense of Bea de Leon. That's really been key for Ateneo in the last few points in that 4-point run to give them a lead of 2. That is just wide for Tolentino.
But she has already done damage to LaSalle service reception. Bea de Leon able to combine with Gia Morado and Cat Tolentino to rally Ateneo's troops. They're still ahead by 1 versus De La Salle. He lost grip on their first ball once again.
Good coverage by Tan. Maraguinot off the block, and Baron, it fell short right in front of her. And Ateneo leads by 2 again, 17-15.
Finally, Joanna Maraguinot showing up here in the 4th set, beating the double block, overpowering Duque Rogonzana, and pushing Ateneo 2 points ahead of the Lady Eagles.
Favorite of Ateneo fans, Bea de Leon serving. D, that's short, and the lead is 3 for Ateneo, their biggest of set number 4.
Bea de Leon all pumped up, while Gia Morado silently provides the stability and composure for Ateneo put in the 4th set.
Wala sa loob ng gusto niyong buhatin yung team. Gusto niyong ganyan, buhayin yung kalaban niyo. Tapos eto, tataranta na naman tayo. Nung time na nagkaroon kayo ng chance na lumamang, anong ginawa ninyo? Nag-relax lang tayo na nag-relax. So, bawi tayo ngayon. Tayo. Nagkakakumpiyansa yung kalaban niyo eh. Buhat, kailangan sipag. Ang nagpapakamatay yung kalaban ng pesa. Tumasin bola, atake. Tayo, sipag sa left, sipag sa receive. Saan nyo?
LaSalle led by 3, and they seemed like they were in control here in set number 4 and poised to win by 4 sets.
Ulitin ko kasamang Eric, maski lamang ka. Kita mo sa tema eh.
Yeah.
Kayang bumalik eh.
Changes very quickly.
Oo, hindi laglag balikat eh, lumalaban. Takes a while though, pero they were able to do it. Talking about Ateneo.
3-point lead for Ateneo, down by a set. Maraguinot, what a dig by Macandili. Free ball for LaSalle. Cheng. What a save by Morado. Good reflexes in the last 2 plays for both teams, but the dump by Fajardo scores the point for DLSU. What a sequence, Coach Ron.
Elite players, superior playmakers, but what about the effort on the defensive end? As King Fajardo finally put the exclamation point, the 16-point para dito sa LaSalle, but they're still 2 points away from Ateneo.
Quick moves by both teams. All for a point. Maraguinot. That was D. Tiamzon, the leading scorer of DLSU. Dumped by Morado. She touched the net. Point for LaSalle. Back-to-back points for them, and they are within 1.
Very rare mistake coming from Gia Morado.
Cheng, 9 points for DLSU. Most of those coming here in set number 4. Maraguinot, rejected. Tries again over the blockers. Cheng sets it up for Tiamzon. Maraguinot again, that's off the tape of the net. That's 4 touches for Ateneo. Lead erased, Coach Ronnie. And what did we say about the tide and the way the lead has swung and the momentum has swung?
You just have to play the next point. LaSalle had a big lead. Ateneo erased it. They had a 3-point lead. LaSalle came back. No one in complete control, but right now we are already with both teams at 18 points apiece. LaSalle with a 1-set advantage over Ateneo.
Set number 4, anybody's game. Save, falls short. 4-point run for LaSalle as they take the lead away from Ateneo. They're up 19-18, a timeout by Coach Tai Bundit here. We'll listen to the Lady Eagles after this latest reception breakdown. Timeouts of Coach Tai Bundit have really had positive results for Ateneo. They were able to stop LaSalle's momentum several times. Let's see if they can do it again. Look at the crowd here at the Big Dome. We're at almost full capacity here, as even on a workday Tuesday after the long Labor Day weekend, people have come and check out the sixth time these two teams meet in the finals, but the momentum stays with LaSalle Coach Ronnie. They have a 5-point run now and take a 2-point lead.
Talked about the need for Ateneo's defensive specialists to be able to keep up with Don Macandili. Macandilo's been solid with her digs, with her reception. Right now, Giselle Tan needs to compose herself as her team is now behind by 2 points.
What a run by the Lady Spikers. Valentina from the back row. Couple of times unsuccessful in set number 3. Diamzon. Oh, she's been solid for DLSU. The sophomore taking matters into her own hands, makes it a 3-point lead for DLSU, back at their biggest in set number 4.
Once again, perfect pass coming from Kim Fajardo, and the leading scorer of LaSalle in this match beating the double wall, pushing LaSalle 3 points ahead of the Lady Eagles. 15 points for Kim Tiamzon, the sophomore, to lead the way for all Lady Spikers. Maraginot, 3-lady block. Easy over for the Lady Eagles. Great anticipation by Morente that time on the dump. Ogunsanya slips, and it's a free point for Ateneo. They will welcome that. Ateneo getting that free point. Ateneo already with 19 points. LaSalle 21. And ace server, Gia Morado on deck. Tignan natin kung sino ang tatargetin dito ni Gia Morado.
They were previously sending it to Cheng or Macandili. They sent it back to Cheng again. Tiamzon. 15 points already for Tiamzon. Easy over for the Lady Eagles. Spikers on the attack. Ogunsanya. Another free ball for DLSU. Ogunsanya blocked this time. Great play, Fajardo. Great court sense to find that open space in the defense of Ateneo for the dump.
Alam mo si Kim Fajardo, bilang matalino pumasa, he's also a beach volleyball enthusiast. Hindi ako nagkakamali eh. Baka nag-MVP ito sa beach volleyball, and that's a beach volleyball move. Pushing that ball deep, direct to zone 6. Zone 5 rather.
Oh, huge reception error on Giselle Tan as Ateneo's weakness comes to 4 now. And it's a 4-point advantage for LaSalle, their biggest in this set.
LaSalle was able to solve Gia Morado's serve. Now Ateneo has to prove that they can answer and handle Kim Fajardo's service.
That was over-received. Morente through the block. Fajardo sets it up. Kim D. Oh, nobody there in front. As LaSalle gets the match point for the first time against Ateneo in season 79.
Look at Abby Maranya and Ara Galang cheering on the rest of the De La Salle Lady Spikers. Ateneo now on the brink. LaSalle with 5 set points, equivalent to 5 match points.
LaSalle fans on their feet. Hands raised high with the number 1. Morente saves 1 of 5 match points.
Still alive. Bench Morente trying to resuscitate Ateneo as Lasal attempted to flatline the Lady Eagles. And remember that Ateneo won the first set. And they almost pocketed the second set.
Ladies Fighters.
A timeout here by DLSU. We'll listen to Coach Ramil De Jesus.
Hindi tayo pwede mag-drop ng bola, ha? Palipat kung gusto mo, palipat isa dito, mahaba ang palo, okay? Kaya lang, ganun din. Dito. Lukay ko na sa front line, dito lang natin yung bola. And haba mo rin ang palo ka, pinauna ka. Okay, let's go!
Coach De Jesus taking no chances. Even with 4 match points in game number 1 of the finals, calls a timeout to sort things out after Ateneo saved 1 of 5 match points. Madaya getting ready to check in for Ana Copico.
This is a classic situation of being so near, yet so far.
So Hekinana checking in to serve.
Very steady
for
from the
Madaya.
service line.
Oh, sorry, for Maraginot. Yes,
Very steady.
Very steady. She has to be more than steady. She has to be perfect, Coach Ronnie. If Ateneo is to come back here in set number 4. There it is. Kiana D brings Lasal to within a game of winning the championship, to the delight of former Lady Spiker and champion Chacruz.
Tremendous composure. Spectacular fight back by De La Salle. Down by a set. They beat Ateneo in 4 sets, winning the last 3 sets, mainly through the efforts of Kim Fajardo, Dean Chamson, Desiree Cheng, Lucio Gonzana, and of course, defensive specialist Don Macandili.
Kim D finishes with 12 points. Team high honors go to Kim Tiamzon with 15. And for the first time in season 79, Coach Ronnie, Lady Spikers win over the Lady Eagles, and in the most important time of the season, taking game number 1 like they did in season 78 against the top-seeded Lady Eagles of Ateneo. Let's take a look at that final play.
To put it simply, nagkatalo sa reception kasamang Eric. Nung naging mabula ang reception ng Lasal sa first set, toda sila. In the last 3 sets, the shoe was on the other foot, and Lasal came out with 3 straight sets versus Ateneo.
We'll take a breather, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll come back to wrap this game up right after these. Back here at the Araneta Coliseum for the finishing touches of this magnificent Game 1 win by the defending champions, Lady Spikers of DLSU versus the Lady Eagles of Ateneo, in practically the same fashion that they lost the first 2 games in 4 sets.
And they were able to rediscover themselves, especially in the second set. And I believe that it took the heroic efforts of Kim Fajardo to pick Lasal up from the ground dahil they were on the brink. Talo na eh. Down 2 sets almost, but Kim Fajardo made sure that Lasal was in the hunt. And that second set win set the tone in the next 2 sets as Ateneo was not able to recover. The reception suffered, their attack points suddenly was trimmed to a minimal, and Lasal able to use their championship experience to bring down the mighty Ateneo Lady Eagles.
And because of her great serving, great setting, Kim Fajardo is our best player of the game, and she is with Bea Escudero.
Yes, Eric and Coach Ronnie, I have here with me our Gatorade player of the game, team captain Kim Fajardo. So Kim, congratulations. So coming into game 1, paano mo na-lead yung teammates mo to play their best this afternoon?
Siguro syempre, unang-una, kailangan ko munang pagkatiwalaan yung sarili ko. And then, yun nga, susunod na yun doon. Just, siguro yung mga minsan na-rattle kami, siguro unang muna kakalmahin ko yung sarili ko as a captain kasi ako yung titignan nila kapag mga ganong situation.
Alright, so sa 5 years mo nandito sa team and sa finals ng UAAP, ano yung mga natutunan mo na dinala mo dito sa finals in order to defend the crown?
Siguro yung kapit. Tsaka kung alam mo namang may nanalo ka, iba yung team mo. Kilala mo talaga yung team mo. Maglaro ka. Dun sa, kung ano yung team mo talaga. Kung nag-champion ka, play like a champion.
Alright, do you want to invite anybody or greet anybody on air, Kim?
Hi sa family ko, Kuya Albert, Mami, Bernie, Ate Rosan, hello. At daddy ko na sa Kuwait, hello.
Alright, there you have it.
LaSalle's breakthrough win in Game 1, after losing to Ateneo twice in the elimination round, proves that it doesn't matter how you start. What matters is how you finish the game. That crucial second set turned the tide and momentum in favor of the defending champions. Tall, talented, skilled, and now armed with the mental and psychological edge, Kim Fajardo affirmed in the post-game interview that Game 2 would be her last UAAP game.